Right, YouTube, welcome back to another tutorial on the Enterprise NCC-1701-D. Okay, we are now moving on to the tactical station. The tactical is obviously in charge of protecting the ship and the crew and the captain. So, the tactical role is to keep the ship out of danger and out of harm's way. But also as tactical, you are chief security of the Enterprise, shall I say. So it's your job to discipline any crew members. That last part was a joke, but hey. So as tactical, obviously like some of the Aegis, you have phaser control and you have torpedo launchers. So obviously you have a target for modulation, as you say there. Select the target to use modulation. This only works on enemies. Now, there's nothing much different to the tactical staging on the Enterprise, but we're just teaching the basics of shield modulation. So, shield modulation is extremely useful when you fight in the Borg and when you're at the ending and you're trying to destroy the cube. That's where it can come in handy. So, the way shield modulation works, you need operations, on my last tutorial that I did, to actually put a register into the shield generator. Otherwise, shield modulation will not work. Also, you cannot modulate shields on a friendly ship or on a neutral ship. It has to be an enemy Romulan or a pirate. So let's just put that out there now. As tactical, you have to scan objects to make sure nothing is dangerous, like such as anomalies or neutral ships. Or if you want to disable a subsystem, then you have to scan that subsystem, target, and disable it. I don't know if I want to mention this, but there is a phaser glitch with both the Aegis and the NCC-1701-D Enterprise. Basically, if you can disable the ship a lot quickly, but obviously people will class that as cheating, and some captains will not like cheating. But I will do a brief tutorial on that. So just let's see. So basically how that will work is you target a subsystem, it'll come about, instead of burst, it'll come up as beam. Now, as soon as you select the beam button, that's when you let go. That's when you release the target subsystem. And you have to do it quickly in order to stop, to stop it from actually overshooting and not doing enough damage. That's only useful when you're in close combat and you need to get something quickly. So it's extremely useful in Borg missions when you need to disable a ship quickly and to transport something off. Or if you're rescuing hostages of an enemy vessel, then it's useful. It's also disables subsystems quite easily as well, so you don't have to keep waiting all the time to disable a subsystem, but oh well. With the phasers, you obviously have modified phasers. So as you see there, you got like a little rectangle thing on the right side of the phaser beam. If you get that the white arrow into the orange rectangle, it'll do increased damage to the target you hit. So basically, it's an advantage really. What is useful when fighting the Borg or fighting a heavily armed Romulan ship. So just be aware of that every time you're fighting, okay? Now, final bit for the Enterprise D. Obviously, it's going to be a short because it's not like the Aegis where I went over everything, because the tactical station is still pretty basic. But with the torpedoes, you have 4 torpedoes in total. On the Aegis and the original, you have 2. Now, this one is quite different than the other 2 ships, both the Aegis and the original. This one has a forward torpedo launcher that can be loaded up to 3 torpedoes. The aft launcher, which is the behind the ship, can be loaded with 1 torpedo. Having 4 torpedoes at your disposal is extremely useful when fighting heavily armed ships like the Borg or Romulan deregates. But it can also be useful if you're targeting like a pirate and you get their shields down quickly or something like that, because torpedoes on this ship does heavy damage. Also, proximity torpedoes. Proximity torpedo can only be loaded to 1 torpedo. It will do heavy damage to its target, to the target that it hits. But obviously, there's a disadvantage to the proximity torpedoes. Unlike homing, homing can lock onto its target, but with proximity will not lock onto its target. Instead, proximity, when you activate it, it will come up with a line, and that line is the direction it will go in. And then once it hits that outer edge area, which comes up as that, I don't know what that is, by the way, it will then detonate. It's only useful when you're locating a cloaked vessel. That's right, I said cloaked vessel. In this Enterprise D, we are facing Romulans, not Klingons. So just be aware of that. There will be ships out there that will be cloaked, and that you'll need to be careful of, so just be aware of that. That's pretty much the basis of tactical on this station, on this ship, and I hope you guys do enjoy, and we'll be moving on to the helm next time. See you all for now.